Coming to asexual reproduction in unicellular and multicellular organism, before beginning that, let's understand what do we mean by asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction actually means where there is only one individual that is required. There is no need for two separate individuals. There is no production of gamete in the process of asexual reproduction. Only one of the parents is required. Therefore I say only one of the individual or one of the parents is required. There is no gamete that is involved, no process of fertilization that takes place. Since there is no fertilization, there is no zygote formation, and no zygote formation means no embryo formation, and also no process of meiosis taking place. Now, since I am saying no to all of these are essential part of the sexual reproduction, which we would cover in the next section. Now, asexual reproduction, as I said, requires only one individual. There is no requirement for gamete formation. Gametes are not involved. There is no fertilization and therefore no zygote formation, and no process of meiosis that is involved in the process of reproduction. Now, also, since none of these things are required, asexual reproduction is considered as one of the best ways where we explain the clone. So, clone is an exact identical copy or the offspring which is exactly the same as the parent, and therefore this is a term called as cloning. Cloning have been also tried in other species. Dolly was the first sheep that was cloned, and the cloning has been an issue of ethical debate in higher order organisms. So that is the first thing that we need to understand, and clones have remarkable similarities with their parents in terms of the genetic material. Now, coming on to the various forms of asexual reproduction. The first is the fission method. Now, fission method could be further explained under three. So we would be taking three different examples to explain it. The first example is an example of amoeba. Amoeba, the fission actually takes place with the replication of the DNA, the process of cytokinesis where the cytoplasm separates, and there are two identical daughter nuclei that is formed, as you could see in this process. Now, it is important that in amoeba, the process can occur, the fission process can occur in any of the planes. That means if this is the cell, it could be cut into this fashion, it could be cut into this fashion, it could be cut into this fashion, or any other method, and there would be the production of offspring which would be identical copies to the parent. So that is the case of amoeba. The next case is leishmania. Now, leishmania is also one of the causes for Kala Azar, which is one of the popular diseases in most of the forest areas. Now, here what happens is there is fission, but it occurs only in one plane, and this is the plane where you have the fission process that occurs. Fission cannot occur in any other plane in case of leishmania. So, fission process only, we are talking about the process of fission method only, and here the first example was the example of amoeba where the fission could occur in any of the planes, leishmania where fission occurs only in a single plane, and the last is the case of plasmodium. In the case of plasmodium, there is multiple fission. It's not a binary fission. So far, in the case of amoeba and leishmania, as we have seen, it's an example of binary fission because one species creating two identical copies. But in case of plasmodium, there is multiple fission. You have the C-zont and there are numerous daughter nuclei that are seen. Once it ruptures, you have numerous plasmodiums that are seen. Also, a similar example which we would understand in this process is yeast. Now, yeast is important. Yeast is a specific organism that fails to multiply in water, but it multiplies rapidly in sugar solution because sugar is the medium that provides energy for sustaining all the life activities of yeast, and therefore the process of reproduction is triggered with a sugar solution. In water, the yeast does not find adequate source of energy and therefore this process cannot be done. So that is an example of yeast. Coming on to the next forms. So we have multicellular organisms which usually have simpler structures. For example, Spirogyra. Now Spirogyra, there is a process, it's a multicellular organism first of all, but the process of reproduction is asexual. So it's not required that asexual reproduction occurs only and only in unicellular organisms. It can occur in multicellular organisms as well. Now what happens? Spirogyra is can be broken down into multiple pieces, and each piece can regenerate. Similar process occurs in the case of Hydra. So if Hydra is cut from between, the upper half and the lower half have a capability to regenerate into a full grown Hydra, and this is a process known as regeneration. Hydra is interesting because Hydra, along with regeneration, also has another interesting process which is budding, which we would understand in a while. But other good examples of regeneration are, besides Hydra is one of the examples, besides that you have starfish as another important example and planaria as another important example. So those are the examples of regeneration. So let's say I have a planaria here. Now this planaria is cut into two halves. So what would be the regenerated part? So this part was already there. Now this would be the shaded part I am marking here, would be one of the regenerated parts, and another planaria, this would be the shaded part would be the regenerated part. So if planaria is being cut vertically, half of it being separated, here this part would convert into a new planaria and the regenerated part would be there. Here this would be the regenerated part. So that is as simple as that. So that was regeneration. Regeneration is carried out by specialized cells, and these cells have a capability to multiply into huge numbers. The next is the process of budding. So as in the case of Hydra, there is a small bud that develops. This bud grows on and finally detaches to form a new Hydra. So initially there is a bud formation. This bud enlarges and then finally separates out as a different Hydra, and this is a process that occurs through the outgrowth by repeated cell division. So there is a repeated process of cell division. The buds develop into tiny individual which detaches and grows into a full grown adult. So that is another process. So three important processes that we have covered so far, that is fission method, regeneration method and budding method. Coming on to the cases of vegetative reproduction and spore formation. So those are the two important cases that we would understand. Spore formation occurs in the case of fungi. So what happens in the case of fungi? There are thread-like structures and these are known as hyphae. These are usually seen on the bread mold, and these are not the reproductive part. The reproductive part is the spore that basically ruptures and you have the spores that separate out. Now this spore, sporangia, which has the numerous spores in it, contain or have a capability to develop into a new rhizopus. So this is an example of rhizopus where you have the process of spore formation that occurs. Good example is the bread mold, where you have the hyphae that are seen, the thread-like structures on the bread, and then you have the tiny bulb-like structure that could be seen, which is the sporangia, which is the home to the various spores. When it ruptures, these spores separate out and have a capability to form a new rhizopus. The spores are actually enclosed in a thick walled layer, and when there is adequate moisture, then only it has a tendency to grow. In dry atmosphere, this cannot grow. So moisture again is an essential element for spore formation. As we had seen in the case of yeast, sugar solution is required. In the case of fungi, there is requirement for moisture. So that is one example. The next is the process of vegetative reproduction. Now vegetative reproduction is another important process. A good example is the leaf bryophyllum. Bryophyllum is an example where you have the new buds that are being seen from the edges of the leaf. Now vegetative reproduction can occur through three parts. Those are the stems, the roots and the leaves. Bryophyllum is an example where vegetative reproduction occurs through the leaves. Now, various fruits, for example, banana, orange, rose, jasmine. So, those are some of the examples where you actually do not have seed that is required for the formation of new plant. There is the process of vegetative reproduction that actually is seen, and therefore it is one of the major advantage where genetically similar crops can be produced because it is asexual in nature. There is no requirement for the seed formation that occurs in the flowering plant, which we would understand in the next section. Also, there is another interesting process which is known as tissue culture. So besides the three method that we have talked about, that is the fission method, the regeneration, and the process where we have talked about understanding the multicellular organisms, the process of budding. Now here we have been talking about plants, so there are two important methods. First is the vegetative reproduction, the second is tissue culture, and then in the cases of fungi we have the spore formation that occurs. So tissue culture is a culture where the original plant or the original cell, there is a tissue that is being removed. So from the whole section of the tissue, a part of it is removed. So certain cells are removed, and this is known as callus. Now this callus is transferred to another medium which is rich in hormones. So let's say it's put up in an artificial medium which is rich in hormones, and this callus is allowed to grow and differentiate. Now in this process, it turns into a life form, and there is maturity that is seen, and therefore tissue culture is one of the common methods which is used, where tissue culture is a method which is used nowadays a lot in ornamental plants. So those are some of the major methods of asexual reproduction. Just a quick recap of the asexual reproduction again. So here there is no process of fertilization, no zygote and embryo formation, there are no gametes that are involved, and only one of the parents or one individual is required to bring in the offsprings. So that is one of the very fundamentals about asexual reproduction.